Hello everyone, this is just a dad. Today I'm going to do a review on the NARWAL Freo Pro Robot Vacuum Cleaner. So here we have the base station. We have a clean water tank. You're going to put clean water in. There's the dirty water tank. You're going to have to empty this after it washes the mop pad. We got a start button here. We can have it start cleaning. So here the robot is docked. Now the docking station is going to wash the mop pads. So I really like this. This robot has LiDAR navigation. It does a really good job of mapping your house. Now it does not have a camera on the front, but it has a sensor to help it avoid things that are low to the ground. It's got the bumper on the front. If we lift the cover off, this base station does not auto empty the robot. You're going to have to take this and throw this away after about 4 or 5 weeks. It's going to fill this up. It does come with a reusable one. Here we have the reusable one. It's got a filter that you can clean, and then when this fills up, take it to the trash can, open that up, and everything will come out of the dust bag. Now if we look around back, this is where it's going to charge. It does not have an internal water tank. There's the docking station. There's where it's going to charge the robot, and there's the tray that it's going to wash the mop pads with cold water. And then it's going to suck the water up into the dirty water tank when it's done, and it's going to blow hot air onto the mop pads to dry them. Now it does have a built-in dirt detect sensor. So when that water is being sucked up into the dirty water tank, it's going to pass through a sensor. If that water's dirtier than normal that came off these mop pads, it's going to tell the robot, go back and remop the area you just came from. That's called a remopping event. Here we have the bottom of the robot. It can lift these mop pads 12 millimeters when it has a carpet sensor. So when it senses carpet, it can lift these mop pads 12 millimeters. Now it can't leave them back at the base station or anything. Once in a while you are going to have to take these off and replace them. You can also put them in your laundry to freshen them up. Again, the way that these mop pads are kept wet is the robot has to go back to the base station. They have to get washed and re-wet. And the theory behind it is the robot's going to have to capture whatever mud's on the floor and then take it back to the base station and get washed off. Now these do have like a triangle. When they turn, one is always in the middle and this one's kind of flat. This wheel just spins. Now it does have this brush roller that's only mounted on one side. So if long hairs get wrapped around, it's going to be directed to this side where it will not get wrapped around. Now every once in a while, these will come back. It folds these up like this, and then this is going to grab the long hairs that were caught on this. And it can also turn one of the brushes off whenever it's mopping so that it doesn't drag that brush roller in the mud. So again, mopping, again, there's no internal water tank. The wetness is set by how wet they come out of the base station, and you're going to have to determine how often it goes back and washes the mop pads. So this is kind of designed maybe for a little bit smaller of a house and not a super big house. There's the suction roller, side brushes, fall off sensors, and carpet sensor. Now here's the app. It does a really good job of mapping your house. You can put no-go zones, no mop zones. We can do vacuum and mop, vacuum then mop, vacuum. We can also got this Freo. And we can also turn the Freo off and tell it exactly how to clean the room. Okay, let's tell it to clean this area where we've got some muddy paw prints.
Freo Smart Vacuum and
now the first thing it's going to do, it's going to wash the mop pads. That's going to do two things. It's going to get the mop pads clean, but it's also going to set the wetness level. Again, no internal water tank, and it's going to have to set the wetness level by using how it washes it. It's very quiet when it's washing. You got a clean water tank and a dirty water tank. This usually lasts about 1.5 to 2 minutes. Okay, so it's undocked itself, and it's going to travel to the room. Okay, we're going to check how the NARWAL Freo Pro cleans up these muddy paw prints. Here it is cleaning right next to the wall. Okay, we're going to see how the NARWAL Freo Pro cleans these muddy paw prints. Wow, it's doing it. We're getting a little bit of smearing, but we're hoping for a remopping event. Now it can turn that other brush off where it knows the floor is wet. See, it'll turn that brush roller off now because it knows that side of the floor is wet. All right, that mop pad is capturing the mud. Okay, it's traveling back to the docking station and it's going to wash that mud off. And this thing docks really fast. Now it's going to put fresh water down and wash those mop pads, and then it's going to suck it up into the dirty water tank. It's going to pass through a sensor, a dirt detection sensor. If that water being sucked up is dirtier than normal, it's going to tell the robot, go back and remop that area you just came from. And that's what we're hoping for. There's the dirty water being sucked up. And again, in the app, we can see exactly where it went. Okay. Okay. It's doing a repeated mop all on its own. So it's going to wash the mop, and it said that it found dirt, and it's going to repeated mopping on dirt residue. That is all automatic from the robot. And that's from that dirt detection sensor built into the base station. Okay, here the NARWAL is doing its second mopping. It's going to go around and do the perimeter of the room first. Okay, the first pass went like this. The second pass is going to go like this. Here's that mud that was left over. We're going to see if it gets it on the second pass. And it looks like it's mopping only and the side brushes are not on at all. Wow, it's doing a really good job. Looks like we have a little bit in the crevice there.
Starting scheduled cleaning.
All right, a little bit there. All right. Okay, it's all done. It's going to go back to the dock. Now, the floor's pretty dry. A little bit dirty, and we have a little bit in that crevice. But it's going to come back here and wash the mop again. Here it's washing the mop. It says round 2 is clean. Okay, we're going to get another repeated mopping because there's residue that just popped up. So it's washing the mop and it's going to do 3 passes. I only told it to do 1 pass in the Freo mode. But because we're in Freo mode, it detected dirt the first time and the second time. And here's the little section that it cleaned. Okay, we're going for a 3rd time. And again, it's going to do the perimeter of the room first and then go to the center. Let's just take a look. There's that dirty water. Wow. That dirt detect sensor is working pretty good. Okay, now it's going in the direction of the first pass. I should have left that mud in the crevice to see if it got it. I wasn't sure if it was going to do 2 passes or not. It's very quiet. Wow, it's doing a good job. Okay, it's going to finish up here. It's still a little damp. It's heading back to the dock. Wow. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a lot cleaner than it was. You know, not bad at all. And this is the fastest docking robot I've ever seen. Oh, they're not so fast. Okay, this was after the second cleaning. This was after the third cleaning. And now we're back here. Round 3 is clean. We'll see if it's going to do another repeat. As right now it's washing the mop. We can see there's the pattern that it went in. Okay, we're going to see if we get another cleaning. I don't think we are, because it's spinning the mop pads really fast to try to dry them. Okay, it's all done.
Mop drying started.
Now it's going to dry the mop pad. So it's blowing hot air onto the mop pads to dry them. It's very quiet doing it. Let's check. So there's how much water it used. And there's the dirty water tank. Wow. Pretty incredible. And under the task report where the clean history is, it says it had a level 5 stain. Here's the cleaning highlights. 2 repeated mopping on dirt residue. So we had 1 cleaning and 2 repeats. Okay, we're going to see how the NARWAL Freo Pro does with obstacle avoidance and cleaning in corners. We've got a bunch of dirt and debris in the corners. I've got it vacuuming and mopping at the same time. All right, so it did hit that cable.
Task paused.
All right, we got to get the cable out.
Task resumed.
All right, we'll see how it does with corner cleaning capabilities. We got some long hair. Now it's doing that spinning action to put the mop pad next to the wall. It spins so it can mop right next to the wall. It can turn one brush roller faster than the other when it's up against the wall. All right, let's check it with the toy. So it did sense that toy, but it is getting pretty close to it. It did touch the toy. I would like for it to stay a little farther away. Yeah, it definitely needs to stay farther away from the toy. Not bad, not bad. It turns one brush roller off when it knows that it's on the side where it just mopped, and it keeps the other one going. And now it'll turn that one off. There's that corner. Struggled a little bit right there, but boy, the center of the room did really good. Obstacle avoidance could be a little bit better. And it's going to suck those those side brushes back to pull the hairs off.
Task paused.
I want to show that to you. So what it does is, if there's long hairs wrapped around here at the end of the job, it folds them back, and then this brush roller is going to take the hairs off and suck them down. Because this one has a... See, we had a bunch of long hairs and they did not get wrapped around. This only has one end that's connected. The other end is floating. So the long hairs will wrap around, get directed down here, and come off of the brush roller. And the long hairs will get directed here. There's all the mud it captured. Now this robot does not have an internal water tank. It sets the wetness whenever the mop pads are washed. So it's going to go back and it's going to wash these mop pads, and it has a dirt detection sensor built in. Here's the base station. It's going to wash the mop pads. It doesn't auto empty it though. You've got to empty the dustbin yourself. And there is a sensor built in here. After it sucks the dirty water up from down here washing the mop pads, if it detects too much dirt in that water, it's going to tell the robot, go back and remop that area you just came from. All right, so here it is traveling back.
Self-cleaning started.
Okay, again, it's not going. There is no dust bag.
Completed. Task completed. Mopping started.
Okay, it's going to wash the mop pads, but again, there's no auto empty. You're going to empty out that. You're going to throw away that dust bag that's built into the robot after about 4 or 5 weeks. But it's going to use clean water over here, wash the mop pads, and then it gets sucked up into the dirty water tank. So there's the area that it cleaned. We didn't get an obstacle notification. It's not going to take a picture, and it didn't tell us there was an obstacle there. We did not get a remopping event because it said the stain level was 0. Okay, we're going to see how the NARWAL Freo Pro cleans this carpet with really long hairs. Now it has a built-in carpet sensor. It can lift those mop pads 12 millimeters. So it's got the mop pads lifted so it's not getting the carpet wet. Now I've got this, it's going to do 2 passes since this was so dirty. I can bump that up to super powerful suction. So the first pass was this direction. The second pass is going to be the opposite direction. Okay, I turned the suction way down. Now at the end of the job, it's going to suck those side brushes in. If there's any hairs that are tangled up around those side brushes, when it's all done, you'll see those get sucked in and it's going to pull the hairs off of them. I turned it down to really quiet. Oops. There, it sucked them in. So let's pause it real quick.
Task paused.
Now again, here's everything that went into the dustbin, or this dust bag you will have to replace once in a while, but it was able to get those long hairs. And it did a pretty good job. A third pass, they got about 90% of what was here. Now the neat thing is, there's how it sucks those brushes in, and if there was any long hairs, they would get pulled off by this brush roller. And this brush roller is only attached at one end. So if long hairs get sucked up in here, they're going to come down, and then they're not going to be, this is floating, so it's going to go into the dust bag, get sucked up into the dust bag. Now again, these, when they're working, are spinning, but at the end, it does that. It can lift the mop pads 10 millimeters or 12 millimeters. There's the carpet sensor. Now this docking station does not have an auto empty feature. What it does, it compresses this stuff over to one side. So you'll hear some air blowing in the robot, and it's just compressing all of that dirt and debris over to one side so that it'll have room across the filter for vacuuming the next time. Now you do have to throw this away after about 4 to 7 weeks, depending on how much you get in it. And at the end of the job, it will blow air in there to dry the dust bag. Now it does come with a reusable one. So if you want to reuse this one, it's going to fill this up, take it to the trash can, pop that, and everything pops out. And then you can, that's a cleanable filter. So, and here's the base station. It can only wash the mop pads with hot water and then suck the water up, or no, it washes them with cold water, I'm sorry. There is no auto empty system. And it doesn't refill the robot with water, but it does have a clean water tank and a dirty water tank. Again, there it is from mopping. Okay, it's back at the docking station.
Task completed. Charging started.
Okay, in order for this thing to vacuum carpet, there's a hidden setting. I wish NARWAL didn't do this, but go to the map. And again, my recommendation is have it clean your entire house, identify where the carpet is, and then go in there. But let me show you this. I don't know why they do this. Map editing. So I have that rug here, and at first it did not want to vacuum that rug, and I'm like, why? And I remember this now from NARWAL. So you have to go to carpet. And see, it's going to identify that carpet, but then you have to tell it what to do. See, click the carpet. The default is sidestep, or I think the default was cross or something. It was one of these two, but it wouldn't vacuum carpet. I had to change it to power boost, and now it will vacuum carpet. Ignore carpet, that means it'll mop it. Cross means it'll cross without cleaning it. I think that was the default. So why this setting and sidestep means it'll just go around it. I don't understand why that default is they don't want this thing vacuuming carpet. It's just, I'm not sure why. See, yeah, there. See, I clicked on default. I can cut. The default is cross the carpet without cleaning. This is gonna confuse a lot of people. They're gonna be like, why is my robot not vacuuming my carpet? And it's gonna be like, well, when it senses it, it's crossing it without cleaning it. Ay, ay, ay. So they're saying anything with high profile carpet, they're wanting you just to put a no-go zone. But it says the brush rollers. I don't agree with that. I think you can do vacuum and then mop. That way it's dragging the mop pad dry across the carpet. So, but you're gonna have to select that. That is crazy. Love this robot except for that. Now I gotta do some more testing on this. So where the auto water system does fit, because this thing's going to use a lot of water. It does have the, see, we can add, there's right here and right here. And over here on the NARWAL Freo Z, I've got a video where I show you, this is the auto water system. And it ties in down there, and I've got all the hookups, and I've got links to how you do all of this. It's not easy, but it's doable. Yeah, there's the parts you take out when you hook it up. So it looks like you will be able to use this. So you can see it's going to use some water. I do like that it can remop areas, but here's going to be my suggestion. If you have this thing do whole house cleaning in the Freo mode and you have a big house, it's going to use all that water up every time. So what I recommend maybe is every day have it do a different room. Don't do it's not gonna be able to, if you have a big house, it's not gonna be able to do the whole house. It's gonna run out of water, especially if your house is dirty. If you have a big house, have it do one room a week. You're gonna be putting a lot of water in here with that Freo. That's okay because it as we see, it did clean the floors really good. Vacuuming was, you know, relatively okay. That's a low profile carpet. Obstacle avoidance, I don't think it's going to be very good. They don't say a whole lot about obstacle avoidance. I mean, they always say it can avoid everything, but that's never the case. They show a picture of it. Oh, stays away. You know, no, it doesn't. Now, $600. I bought this for $600. It's retailing for $700, but it's on sale. I bought it with my own money. I wasn't paid for this video. There's, you know, the Mova P10 was $500. It's a little bit more capable, but NARWAL does things differently. No one has that remopping event 3 times, and I think it would have done it a 4th time. The Freo Z, I think will do 5 or 6. So all of these that have that dirt detection sensor like the Freo, they just go back and do 1 time, which it's not going to use as much water, but man, these Freos can use a lot of water. I do like that brush roller design. I do think it helps with long hairs, having one end open like that. They're selling cleaning tablets, but they don't supply you with any. They say you can put cleaning tablets in here. I've been doing a lot of testing, putting solution in, just regular floor cleaning solution. I'm sure they're going to say not to do it, but I've been having good results. No internal water tank, which is, I like being able to set the water level on the robot and it sprays the mop pad. I like that feature, but again, this one, it sets the wetness by the washing feature, and then, you know, eventually that mop pad will dry out. Even though it's kind of thick and it lasts a while, you would like that to be sprayed, in my opinion. I do prefer that. So small house, small apartment or something like that, it's going to do a good job of cleaning. That's not what I'm trying to say. It is actually going to do a good job of cleaning. It does it a little bit different, and it uses a lot of water. I did notice the cleaning pattern was more uniform now. I know the first Freo, or the first NARWALs I had, the cleaning pattern just seemed chaotic. Now the corner cleaning capability left a little bit to be desired. With it rotating like that, it did better. You know, not really in this corner. It's just it doesn't have corner cleaning capabilities, in my opinion. But the center of the room, excellent job. So I can tell you already, it's going to get adjusted dad sticker seal of approval. It's not the best obstacle avoidance. It's going to use a lot of water, but I do recommend it. I do think it has a place. Okay, let's go take a look in the basement. This is the robot vacuum cleaner proving grounds. We've already got some junk ones. This one's already failed. We're doing lots of testing. Resurrected the J9. Let's get the Shark. The Shark's been doing a pretty good job. The T30's doing okay. It's just loud. The Roborock Q-Revo S has been doing an excellent job. The Max V's been doing a really good job. The 3SI, not so much. It's just too big of a unit. It is a dehumidifier, but now let's just take a look. This is the Eureka. I've got it in mop only, so it's doing a pretty good job. And I've been adding my own solution to the clean water tank. Here's the Shark. One thing I'm finding, it's hard to clean this on the Shark. They need to have a way of like putting water down here and sucking it up or something, but this whole area is becoming hard to clean. And here's the Q-Revo S. It does a pretty good little job. Nothing extends, but it does a good job of mopping. It doesn't have any advanced sensors, nothing built into the dock, so it doesn't use quite as much water, but it actually does a really good job. There's the 3SI. Here's the Shark. I've just been learning, you know, I expected this one not to be quite as good, but it's actually turning out to be okay. Just to have it in your home is it can be a little aggressive. You want something with a little more fine, you know, a little bit more fine detail. Here's the L20, resurrected it. Been doing lots of testing on it. It's just big. Yeah, see, there's the Q-Revo S. So this is the Eureka J20. This is like the competitor to the Eufy S1. So look, I've been cleaning this out daily. It's not doing too bad of a job, to be honest with you, but it's not doing a bad job because it's in a basement. Now let's take a little bit of, this is Listerine. This has prevented all the odor. I was gagging cleaning these things out. They were stinking so bad. There's the Q-Revo S. There's the S1. Yeah, this one's been doing, you know, I love doing this real extensive testing. That way we can just see, you know, exactly what's going on. I mean, this Max V has been, it's had an actual torture test. It started cleaning when the basement wasn't clean, and it did a pretty good job. Here's the clean water tank. This is what I've been doing on clean water tanks. I've been adding Lysol, Mr. Clean, the pink stuff. They all seem to do about the same. And I've just been adding my own solution. You know, the manufacturers are going to say it voids the warranty. I'm sure they don't want us doing it, but it's, sometimes it gets too sudsy when it's cleaning the mop pad, but testing grounds. I had no idea this was going to turn into this, but I'm having fun. I've even got another wall. This is the other shark's been doing okay, but I'm just learning stuff by using these things every day. Like the water tank should have a handle. It's a bad design. Here's the Q-Revo. I forget what this is, either the Master or Pro. It's been doing a good job. There's the L20. There's an old Ecovacs. I don't know if I'll resurrect it or not. But this L20's been doing pretty good. It's just kind of big and loud. Been going through the Roombas. I bought the new Roombas that they're coming out with. I thought I'd give these guys one more try. I've been pretty hard on them. Even the X10, I'm going to give it one more try. I did a factory reset on the Roombas. I really want them to work, but they just don't sometimes. And see, here's the Q-Revo S. So after it's been working, you know, it loses the wetness in the mop pads. I'm not sure how often it's supposed to spray that mop pad, but it does have an internal water tank. Here's the Eureka. Here's the Eureka. See, it's not a bad little mopper. It just really struggles when you've got carpet and floors. Because right now I've got they have you put a different mop pad on when you've got carpets, and it's just kind of wonky how it's set up in the app. It's first generation. I'm not sure. Again, if it was a mopping only robot, I would probably give approval, but. So here's the shark again, you know, not bad. It does go home to its base every time. It's just, the app lacks so much. Yeah, sometimes I just come down here and watch them. So here's where my podcast is. I got a podcast room. Once a week, I'm talking about robot vacuum cleaners. I'm going to try to interview people. So I've reached out to all the robot manufacturers, and we'll see how that goes. I've got the new Roombas. These are brand new. I'm going to do these tomorrow. 205, 105. I got the Mova S10 Plus. Can't wait to do that. The Roomba Plus 405. Yeah, I got the Q8. I never had the Q8, but I've got one. Again, I bought these with my own money. These will be honest reviews. Yeah, I resurrected the Freo Z because I hooked water lines up to it, and it's doing a really good job. I've got the X40 with water lines hooked up. I've got no, that's the X40 Master. I've got the X40. It also has a water auto filling that you can hook up to a drain line and water line. I got a video on this. This kit, it's like $300, but you can install it on the L10S, X40, and the X50, and the Mova. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can put it on the Mova L10S because it's got the, yeah. It's got the, right there's where those connections are, and there's a USB-C cable. This is the Mova P10 Pro. So you can install the I'm pretty sure. Mova P50, I highly recommend. Saurus. Yeah, there's the X50. I got to keep testing it. It's doing better. So I do use links. I do appreciate everybody's support. If you click on the link, the product won't cost you anymore. I get a small commission from the sale. It is a way of helping support my channel. I really do appreciate everybody's support. If you could, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.